The silence inside the first-class cabin was shattered by a single sentence that made every passenger lift their eyes from their phones and magazines. A weary father, dressed in a neatly pressed but inexpensive jacket, was being told to leave the VIP seat he had legally purchased because an influential millionaire had decided he wanted it instead. His 6-year-old daughter was sleeping peacefully against his shoulder, clutching a worn teddy bear that had belonged to her late mother. The father looked around the cabin, hoping someone would simply acknowledge the boarding pass still resting in his trembling hand, but the flight attendants had already made up their minds. To them, appearances mattered more than proof. To the wealthy passenger standing nearby with an impatient expression, the father was just another ordinary man who could be pushed aside. What happened during the next 5 minutes would become the most unforgettable lesson every person on that aircraft would ever witness, and before the engines even started, careers would end, reputations would collapse, and justice would arrive in the most unexpected way imaginable. Before we continue this emotional journey, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with your family and friends, and subscribe to channel name if you believe kindness is stronger than money. Everyone deserves respect, and second chances can change lives forever. Daniel Carter had never imagined that the hardest part of becoming a single father would not be the sleepless nights, the endless hospital visits, or the financial struggles that followed the loss of his wife. The hardest part was watching strangers judge him before they knew anything about his story. Every wrinkle on his jacket, every tired expression on his face, and every inexpensive item he owned seemed to invite assumptions from people who had never experienced the pain of rebuilding a life after unimaginable loss. 3 years earlier he had buried the woman who had been his best friend since high school, and ever since that heartbreaking day every decision he made revolved around giving their daughter, Emily, a future filled with hope instead of sorrow. Daniel worked longer hours than anyone at his engineering firm, often accepting projects that required late nights simply so Emily could continue attending the school her mother had loved. He cooked every meal himself, braided Emily's hair every morning after watching countless tutorial videos, attended every school event, and never missed reading her favorite bedtime story, even when exhaustion made it difficult to keep his eyes open. His greatest fear was never poverty. His greatest fear was failing to become both the father and the mother his daughter deserved. The trip they were taking had taken almost a year to plan. Emily had been selected to receive treatment at a children's medical center in another city for a rare hearing condition that specialists believed could finally be corrected. The airline ticket had cost far more than Daniel could comfortably afford, but months earlier he had redeemed years of accumulated travel rewards from countless business trips and combined them with every dollar he had carefully saved. The result was 2 first-class seats, chosen not for luxury but because Emily's doctor had recommended giving her as much space and comfort as possible during the long flight. When they boarded the aircraft, Daniel felt something he had not experienced in years. Relief. For the first time in months, everything seemed to be going according to plan. Emily smiled with genuine excitement as she looked out the large window, imagining the clouds she would soon fly through. Daniel silently thanked his late wife for somehow giving him the strength to keep moving forward despite every obstacle life had placed before them. That feeling lasted only a few minutes. The arrival of a famous businessman changed the atmosphere inside the cabin almost instantly. Airline employees rushed to greet him with smiles that seemed far warmer than those offered to any other passenger. Several attendants whispered among themselves while repeatedly glancing toward Daniel's seat. Within moments, one of them approached with an expression that mixed forced politeness with quiet determination. Daniel politely presented his boarding pass, believing the misunderstanding would disappear immediately. Instead, the document was barely examined before being handed back. The explanation sounded rehearsed. Operational adjustments, customer satisfaction, exceptional circumstances. Every phrase felt carefully designed to avoid admitting the uncomfortable truth that the airline had decided wealth mattered more than fairness. Daniel refused to argue. He simply asked for the agreement he had paid for to be respected. The cabin became painfully quiet. No one yet realized that security cameras, passenger recordings, and one unexpected witness were about to change everything. Story continues, building steadily toward the emotional climax and conclusion. As we reach the final moments of this unforgettable journey, if this story touched your heart, please support channel name by liking this video, sharing it with someone who believes kindness still exists, leaving your thoughts in the comments, and subscribing for more emotional stories that remind us why compassion always matters.